Welcome to the Video Marketing Conversation, a video blog that brings you interviews with marketing innovators, insights to the latest trends and strategies for content marketing. I'm Scott Williford, CEO and founder of vLink Solutions, the video marketing authority. So this is our third segment with the leaders and founders of the B2B Camp. And so I want to find out from you guys, what's the future? What's going to happen next?
Well, with B2B Camp being kind of controlled chaos, you never know where it's going to take you. So when we started this in Atlanta, we didn't know how people would respond. And what do you guys think?
Awesome response. We had the first event, and what we found was that right after it ended, people from all over the U.S. started reaching out to us saying, "Hey, I'd like to take this to San Francisco, Boston, Chicago, New York." And so we've decided that we're going to do some expansion and go to some other cities. We're also going to come back to Atlanta. That's right. But here and now, I guess we're introducing that we are scheduled to do our next event in Boston in the fall. Right. And we'll be releasing more details on our website about that. But it's shaping up to be an awesome event.
So controlled chaos, have you picked a date?
We have actually.
September 29th.
September 29th in Boston. Yeah. How about, are you still working for a venue? Do you have a venue?
I believe we have a venue. It's the
NERD location. It's New England Research Development Center.
Yeah.
And NERD, that's what they call it. Yeah, I'm excited because I love Boston. Yes. Yes. I went to college in Boston, so I love going back to my roots and working with some folks here. We have a great team of hosts, as we refer to the local organizing teams. And so we've got a great group of hosts that are going to bring B2B Camp to Boston.
So let's talk about organization and organizing teams. So the concept here is never to be vendor-led. Mm-hmm. And so how are you going to accomplish this? What is the...
There's so many events out there that are in this kind of B2B space, but they're all led by the actual company that has the technology or product. So you've got Dreamforce and all the cloud forces that go to every city, and then each of the marketing automation vendors have their own events. But what we found is that people, while they enjoy those events, they want to see some other perspective, and they don't want to go to an event all the time that's being just driven by this brand. And so that's the whole concept of B2B Camp, is that it's for the people, it's open, and there's no preferential treatment given to vendors or sponsors of the event. So it's all just kind of a meritocracy in terms of you get what you deserve, and you get promoted when you do something that people like.
A meritocracy. That's a new word for me. I like it. So your plan is to have hosts in each city. I mean, as you expand, and obviously you found some good people up in Boston, but you guys are going to try to participate yourselves, right? I mean, at least give them the formula.
Absolutely, yeah. We give them a great platform to work off of. We give them all of the needed supplies and the support from sponsors and the technology, as well as the local logistics. So they can really focus on what's important, is making sure there's great content that's going to be there and building up the groundswell of interest at the local level.
He says controlled chaos, but he's got an unbelievable project all mapped out on software, and he's just an unbelievable job.
That's right.
And so we can just hand that B2B Camp in a box over to the other organizers, and then we guide them along the way. So what we do is we find a bunch of passionate people who want to do this, and then we set up bi-weekly calls, and we just go through the checklist and knock them out. And it took us forever to get a location and sponsors and a date for the one in Atlanta, but this one just kind of took off with Boston.
One of the things that and she's not here, but Michelle, you couldn't have done it without her.
Yeah, absolutely. She is fantastic.
Sorry you're not here, but I mean, she handled the food, and you guys had and I mean, it was just phenomenal, all the hard work she did. She was running around like a bee the whole time.
And she held a session as well.
That's right. She even held a session on that. Yep,
yeah.
that's right.
I went to that session.
The marketing automation session, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, she's fantastic, and she's a lot of inspiration for us. She is a fantastic thought leader in this space, and has been able to really drive B2B Camp and help make it better. So it's
and Salesforce.com adds a little credibility to our brand as well, which is really
that does help. That does help. Yeah.
So when you go to Boston, you've identified a host group of people, right? I mean, so are there different people that are kind of taking y'all's roles up there? So what are because all of you guys, like some of you emceed the event, right. So you've got all that lined up.
Absolutely. That's one of the benefits of being a host, is that you're the representative to Boston, B2B Camp Boston, and so you're bringing B2B Camp to that city. And so you get a lot of opportunities to speak in front of the audience and really be the thought leader behind this venue and this.
And I think a key element too for our hosts are to be pretty well networked. I mean, I think that was one of the big successes for us in Atlanta, as we found that, particularly with Michelle as well, is that we knew a lot of people who had those types of interests and were able to reach out, and those people reached out as.
Yeah, I can't remember how I heard about it. It was one of the other presenters, I think, Judy Mode. That's how I heard about it, and you know, she has a big following, so that's also kind of key, is get some of those big people with big networks to, hey, you need to present, and maybe you will, maybe you won't. Which is
Judy was great. She was one of the first people to put a user voice suggestion on, and it got voted through the roof.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are some of the platforms that you've used to do this? Maybe we can come back in another segment and just talk a little bit about the structure of how you pulled it off, because I know you used a lot of open source stuff and freemium products. So. I'm Scott Williford. Thank you for tuning in. We're going to have one more quick segment so you can kind of hear some of the secrets behind the curtain of how B2B Camp gets pulled off. So thank you for tuning in.